What's up, music lovers? Thanks for clicking on my channel. It's always a good time to talk about Rainbow, so I figured why not count down their 15 best songs, in my opinion. And before we get into it, if you like hard rock, heavy metal, progressive rock, music in general, please subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all of that YouTube stuff. I know it's a massive cliche to ask, but it really does help this channel grow, so I greatly appreciate it, and if you do decide to do that, thanks in advance. Self-promotion out of the way, let's just get into talking about one of the coolest bands to come out of the 1970s. Coming in at 15 is Still I'm Sad from their debut album, Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. One of the best cover songs in rock history, the choice to make the song instrumental was a stroke of genius. Why? Well, because you get to hear one of the best guitarists of all time taking over that vocal melody and just bending every note like a total boss, and yeah. It's awesome. Also, Gary Driscoll's drumming is really unique and gives the song a special kind of lift that you wouldn't get if he was just playing a straight 4/4 backbeat. And I can only assume that someone had a severe fever based on the amount of cowbell that's in this drumming. Coming in at number 14 is Death Alley Driver from Straight Between the Eyes. Congratulations, this is the only non-Dio era song to be on this list. And yes, Joe Lynn Turner is great. It's really cool to have Roger Glover reuniting with Ritchie Blackmore, but the reason this song is so high is one reason. That guitar solo. It's up there with Highway Star as one of Ritchie Blackmore's best. You have those amazing harmonized arpeggios, a ripping solo from Blackmore, and it's fast, it's energetic. Death Alley Driver is pretty cool. And if you like Ritchie Blackmore's guitar soloing on Death Alley Driver and Highway Star, then you might really like my instrumental song Waking Giant. There's a link down below if you want to check it out. I usually plug it on all of my videos, but especially for Deep Purple and Rainbow, it's kind of like my version of what I would think an instrumental Ritchie Blackmore song would be like. It's there if you want to check it out. No pressure if you don't. Coming in at number 13 is Catch the Rainbow from the debut album. A beautiful, chill, relaxing, slightly psychedelic jam of a song. I love the really subtle keyboard part and slide guitar in the background of the chorus. And something that gives this song a bit of a unique flavor is that Dio is intentionally clipping during the chorus with his vocals. It's a really cool vocal effect that you can only get when you're recording with analog equipment, and it just adds a little bit of extra flavor to the song, which is already incredible and beautiful. So yeah, Catch the Rainbow, number 13. Coming in at number 12 is Man on the Silver Mountain from Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. A great Ritchie Blackmore riff that is reminiscent of some of his best work with Deep Purple. He also has this really cool arpeggiated guitar part for the pre-chorus, and of course, Ronnie James Dio is just belting out these lyrics like an absolute madman. The song just grooves so hard and has such a great energy to it. Come and Make Me Holy Again, man. Coming in at number 11 is Run with the Wolf from Rising. First song from this album on the list, it's not going to be the last. Of course, Blackmore's riff is awesome. His guitar tone has this extra shriekiness to it that he usually doesn't have. Cozy Powell on the drums is also leaving his mark on the band and making them sound a lot heavier than they did on their debut album. Plus, Dio is exploring what would go on to be one of his trademarks of doubling up his vocals or just adding in a vocal harmony when the song is a bit more open to give it a grander and more epic feel. Coming in at number 10 is Snake Charmer from the debut album. Another really super groovy song. Although I just praised Cozy Powell and I think he was Rainbow's best drummer, that doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the drumming on the first album. The drumming on the first album has a great swing feel to it. It's a little bit loose. It's really inventive. And the guitar work on Snake Charmer is some of Ritchie Blackmore's most intricate. There's a lot of single note riffs, but then he'll also switch into chords, and there's a couple different guitar tracks working against each other throughout the entirety of the song. Plus, the song's about snake charmers, which is pretty cool. Coming in at number 9 is Rainbow Eyes from Long Live Rock and Roll. And the award for Most Beautiful Rainbow Song goes to, well, this one. Obviously. Dio's voice is so smooth and gentle in this song. Plus, having an actual string quartet, a recorder, and a flute on this song makes it sound so much more authentically orchestral and is so much better than if they had just done it with synths. I said something similar in my top 10 instrumental Yngwie Malmsteen songs, but this feels like it's the closest that Rainbow ever came to making genuinely modern Renaissance and orchestral music, but in a rock context. And that's really cool whenever a band can blend different genres into a cohesive sound. Coming in at number 8 is Kill the King from Long Live Rock and Roll. Boom, we have the first power metal song ever recorded right here. Cozy Powell is once again being an absolute lunatic on the drums while Ritchie Blackmore and Ronnie James Dio follow his lead. You like insane Ritchie Blackmore style arpeggios and soloing? Well, this song has it all over the place. At 2 minutes and 40 seconds in, you get these absolutely monstrous Cozy Powell drum fills while Ritchie Blackmore is just soloing like a lunatic over them. Just another example of heavy metal being the best kind of music. This song was a massive influence on power metal, thrash metal, the new wave of British heavy metal, and neoclassical metal, so yeah, it's pretty good. Coming in at number 7 is A Light in the Black from Rising. Everything I just said about Kill the King, you can also say about A Light in the Black, except it's 8.5 minutes long, so add in progressive metal as one of the subgenres it influenced. It's also a really cool sequel to Stargazer and has an absolutely amazing keyboard solo in it. At 3 minutes and 45 seconds in, you get one of the coolest guitar keyboard harmonies of the 1970s. It's really cool because A Light in the Black sounds very Deep Purple-ish, but also not at the same time because you have the contributions of Cozy Powell and Ronnie James Dio. At 5 minutes and 22 seconds in, you have some more really cool lead guitar lines. A Light in the Black is just a perfect example of why 1970s hard rock and heavy metal is so cool. Coming in at number 6 is 16th Century Greensleeves from the debut album. What a shock! Another great Ritchie Blackmore riff. This song is so punchy and to the point, it does not waste a single second with its structure, and Ritchie Blackmore's solo is one of his most memorable, at least as far in his bluesy, kind of more improv solos are. He always had two very distinct kind of solos, the ones that are super neoclassical and planned out, and the ones where he's just kind of winging it. Also, I absolutely love these lyrics and the story they tell. Some tyrannical dickhead of a king or lord has kidnapped one too many innocent peasant women, and yeah, the villagers aren't having it. They're gonna go kill that bastard, hang his body up, and toss it into a fire as they celebrate. How is that not one of the most metal things you've ever heard in your life? Only when it's in a fictional context, of course. Who do you think I am? Maximilien Robespierre or something? No. Story, metal. Real life, horrific. Coming in at number 5 is Temple of the King from Ritchie Blackmore's Rainbow. I think that this is easily the most unique and best song from the debut album. It's beautiful like Catch the Rainbow, intricate like Snake Charmer, and does a really good job of mixing out a mellow song with a more rocking one. The pre-chorus of the song has an absolutely amazing acoustic guitar part, or maybe it's a mandolin, it's a little hard to tell, and it sounds really intricate and complicated, but it also doesn't compromise the mellow feeling that the song is going for. Temple of the King is one of the most densely layered and orchestral songs that Rainbow ever put out, and I think it's easily one of their best. Coming in at number 4 is Stargazer from Rising. That drum intro. Cozy Powell. What a beast. I genuinely feel sorry for anyone who goes their entire life without ever having heard this god-tier masterpiece of a metal song. Much like Heaven and Hell by Black Sabbath, every second of this song is just an example of why heavy metal is the greatest genre of music ever. Period. Stop. Done. Metal. Especially when it's taking a ton of influence from different genres of music, but mixing it into a metal sound. You have this epic string section in the song that doesn't feel like it's out of place at all. Oh, and the lyrics, they're awesome too. Telling the story of some evil wizard that enslaves a bunch of people and makes them build this stupid tower, only for him to try to fly and touch the sun and just sort of splat on the ground, leaving everyone to be like, well, that was kind of pointless, wasn't it? Coming at number 3 is Gates of Babylon from Long Live Rock and Roll. That keyboard intro is good enough, but then the song just hits you with one of the coolest, grooviest, and fastest Ritchie Blackmore riffs. Another song with great lyrics and an actual string section just to add in some extra badassery. Yeah, that's a word. It can be a word. I remember learning this song note for note my last year of high school, and looking back now, I'm like, wow, I had a lot of free time on my hands, didn't I? Gates of Babylon mixes exotic scales with speed, groove, and heaviness. It is just absolutely amazing from start to finish. Coming in at number 2 is Lady of the Lake from Long Live Rock and Roll. The riff in the song leaves a bit of space so the drums can kind of pick up the slack, and it's almost like the guitar and the drums are having a conversation with each other, doing a little call and response but with different instruments. Just like with 16th Century Greensleeves, this song is pretty short, but it also doesn't waste a second and leaves you wanting more. At 2 minutes and 15 seconds in, you get some of my favorite guitar harmonies of all time. You could probably say that there's a lot of Rainbow songs that are technically better than Lady of the Lake, but I've always had a soft spot for the song. It's always been one of my personal favorites. Coming in at number 1 is Tarot Woman from Rising. A lot of what I said about what makes Gates of Babylon so good can also be applied to this song. It has a really cool 1970s progressive rock keyboard intro before just going into a main riff that is really driving and has a really good groove to it. But the guitar riff itself is a bit simpler than Gates of Babylon and a little bit more droning, so it leaves space for these absolutely mind-blowing keyboard leads over top of it. The intro of this song is so good. Dio's performance is also top tier, and Cozy Powell and Jimmy Bain together as a rhythm section is just one of the tightest rhythm sections you could think of. It complements what Blackmore's doing on the guitars, and the keyboards are doing so well. Once again, you have some absolutely amazing guitar harmonies at around 3 minutes and 50 seconds in. And once again, the lyrics tell a really cool story, this time warning you why you shouldn't fuck with fortune tellers. So there you go, the top 15 best Rainbow songs, at least in my opinion, at this particular moment in time. But enough about me. What are your favorite Rainbow songs? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are some songs you think I left off the list? And especially what are some songs from the post-Dio era that you think should have been on here? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, all that YouTube stuff. And if you want to check out my instrumental song Waking Giant, there's a link down below. There's also probably another video popping up like right here you might also enjoy. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you at the next video.